Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So, some of you that are in the club and some of you that aren't, the autocross season and the test and tune have been put on hold at the moment because of this stupid frickin' corona rubbish. So what we've done is I've stopped working on the rally car at the moment, and maybe someone else might want to come work on it. I don't know, don't care. So I've just popped him out the front at the moment, just to make some more room to get the blue one back out of the dust and chuck him up on stands. And and we'll do a bit on the on this one for a bit. So basically, this one here was up to, I've cleaned out the engine bay and gave it a paint and that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run the fuel lines through, the brake line to the rear. Well, the brake line I think actually goes to somewhere. So that'll run through. We're not going to do a whole lot in the interior at the minute because there's not really a lot, or there is a lot to do, but there's not. So if you haven't seen what we've been doing, this is basically just the fun car, the hobby. So I'm going to get the brake lines and the fuel lines in today. And just get what I need in the engine bay so I can get the SR20 in the engine bay, because she's starting to come together now. Got the manifold bolted on with the blow off or the wastegate. We'll probably leave the exhaust and the downpipe till I get it in the engine bay. I've got the manifold there that we're gonna put on, that we're meant to put on. That's a G-Ready rip-off, but still do the job. But I'm not 100% on that yet, because basically if you look through the old videos, you'll see that we've had to do a brake booster delete because we don't have the room for the manifold where it comes around here and where the clutch cylinder goes. So I'm going to investigate into that a bit more. We might just do a remote brake booster so we can get him back in again, but we'll assess that in a bit. So that's that. So I'm going to get the fuel line in today. So the fuel line we've got, it's over here, it's out of the drift car. Needs a bit of a clean up, but it's a bigger fuel line and the brake line. So we'll get him under there. In a box over here we've got the fuel cell that'll go in the boot. We've got the fuel management here that come out of another car, so I might upgrade that. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see how much pressure it pumps, but we can always change that later, so that's all good. So so we'll get all that in and we'll give the boot a bit of a tidy, because we want this one to be a clean car. It's no rush with this one. So I'm going to get into the boot where all the fuel setup will be set up, and I'm just basically going to clean the boot out so it's a lot cleaner. So yeah, stay tuned, and I'll show you how it comes out. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, just a quick clip. I've just tried doing something. I thought I might just put up what I've changed it to. So underneath the Corolla, like in some of the spots where the brake lines and fuel lines go on, they have these little brackets here, and basically they're a 10mm thread, and they bolt the your brake lines and your fuel lines too. So with this setup, you can see the fuel line there where I started. The fuel line, we've made it so it runs along the inside of that chassis rail there, and the brake lines will run basically, well, you can see that one there where I've run it up against the body. That's using the factory bolts. You can do them up nice and tight and you don't have to worry about them coming out. But when this was put on originally, I put one there ready, which I'm going to have to replace. They had them just tech screwed into the side of the sub chassis. So the problem with that is when you go to do the tech screw up tight enough, what it does is it strips inside the metal and doesn't do up tight enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a riv nut in it. And if you don't know what a riv nut is, it's kind of like a pop rivet, but it puts a thread inside a hole, so you can put a proper bolt and you can do it up nice and tight. So basically with that, oh, you can't really see the hole there, but what I did was what I just said. I just put a tech screw in there and the tech screw is pulled out, and it's basically, where are we? Wow, one of these little tech screws. They're shit. They're alright, but they're shit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to riv nut this big girl to the chassis rails. I'll jump out and I will show you what a riv nut looks like. So this is a riv nut set. It's kind of like a pot rivet. You can see there. And basically you put this piece here, like that pot rivet head, into a hole. And when you clamp it up like a pot rivet, it pushes that end up against that there, Richard, and it clamps it together between the two sheets. So I'm going to have riv nuts underneath. So we go into those. Now this set here only goes up to M8. Because basically an M16 size, which is quite a big size, they're about 160 bucks, which is a pain, because the biggest bolt that you can put into an M8 is obviously a 10mm bolt. So I had this set here that I've more or less used a fair few of these already, and then I brought a set off Amazon that I got lots of goodies. So instead of stuffing around with tech screwing into a metal panel, now you can use these riv nuts in just about any application, as long as you've got a flat surface which is reasonably thin so that it can clamp it together. So I'll do a riv nut under the car and then I'll show you what it looks like. So yeah, we'll be on in a couple of minutes and show you the finish.